What's going on, everybody? Wes Hodkiewicz here alongside Mike Spofford. Packers Preview brought to you by Microsoft Copilot. A special Friday morning edition of Packers Preview because, Mike, it is a Monday Night Football week, but it is also a Football Thursday. So we're kind of navigating this whole thing, trying to make sure that we can get from point A to point B in all the places that we need to be as efficiently as possible. Mike Spofford, my colleague, I'm Wes Hodkiewicz. We'll be here for the next 10 to 15 minutes answering your questions on X, Facebook, and YouTube. You can submit those there. Our wonderful social media department will send those over to me, and we'll bounce them off of Mike. Before we get into it, though, we don't have an injury report for me to work off of like usual, where we talk about the Packers injury report. We can discuss a couple things, but I think it's very important that we open this particular broadcast by mentioning in our social media department, Matt Donnelly, it is his birthday, Mike. Can you believe that?
It's Donnelly's birthday. I didn't know that.
You would have never have known it because the guy's so unassuming and would never draw any attention to himself whatsoever. But Matt, happy birthday to you, my man. We're happy that you're a colleague with us at Packers and Packers.com and all those good things together.
Absolutely. Happy birthday.
We have one practice to work off of so far. We'll be out there in a little bit for the second one of the week. I actually attended it on Thursday, padded practice. Some good news, I would say, on the Packers front. We'll see where it all leads into Monday night's game, but the fact of the matter is, Colby Wooden, who left with the shoulder, Matthew Golden, who left with the shoulder, Aaron Banks, who left with the stinger, were all back at practice after not finishing the game against Carolina. Wooden, especially when you talk about the run defense, can be very pivotal in this matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. Dontavian Wicks also did return to practice, as Matt LaFleur forecasted before we went out on the field. The only other really update was the fact that Nate Hobbs, now out with this knee injury. Lucas Van Ness did not return yet from the foot. For the Green Bay Packers, though, I think by and large, somewhat of a sigh of relief coming out of the game against the Panthers.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, certainly with the personnel the Packers were down as that Carolina game came to a conclusion, it's good to see that those guys were able to get back on the practice field on Thursday, maybe the extra day there, with not having to practice until Thursday because of the Monday night schedule. Maybe that helped those guys.
All right, cool. And then also I should mention Savion Williams, Packers receiver, did not practice on Thursday. I believe it was a foot
injury
on the injury report, so we'll see where Savion is at. He was working with the trainers during the portion of practice that was open to the media. Mike, Wes will be here for a little bit answering questions. Again, submit those on YouTube, X, or Facebook. We already have a few coming in.
All right.
Tyler Gajewski on YouTube says, I know Mike Spofford. And Tyler Gajewski on YouTube says, I know Matt. So our colleague, Tyler, already getting in on the fun. Thank you, Tyler, for doing that. Okay. This question is from Mike. How do you think Luke Musgrave is going to perform on Monday? I guess I should have mentioned that as well. We do know Tucker Kraft on injured reserve now because of the season-ending knee injury, unfortunately, that he suffered against Carolina. Josh Wiley was elevated from the practice squad to fill his spot. But certainly, you wrote about it last night on Packers.com. It's not just Luke Musgrave. It's the entire slate of offensive players that are going to have to step up. But certainly, when you look at the TE1 role, that is going to be Musgrave.
Yeah, it's absolutely Musgrave. And I thought it was a great sign that when the Packers finally did put together a touchdown drive at the end of the Carolina game when they got it tied up in the last couple minutes, that Musgrave had 3 receptions on that drive. He started that drive with a 21-yard catch, caught a couple more passes on that drive for shorter gains, 3 catches, 34 yards in all. I asked Luke about that yesterday in the media scrum around his locker, and he made it very clear, like, he's not hung up on the stats, the stat line. He kind of made the point of, hey, like, I feel pretty good about just, the effort, the energy that he's bringing. And he says, even if I don't catch those passes, meaning that if the ball doesn't come his way on those plays, he felt good about the way he was running his routes and getting himself open. So he feels good about where he is. I thought Jordan Love had a really interesting comment in that he senses that Musgrave's confidence is in a different place right now. And that's only natural considering the injuries that he's dealt with over his first couple seasons in the league. And now he feels like he's really healthy, and now his role is going to be elevated because Tucker Kraft is out. So, and Christian Watson certainly gave a vote of confidence to Luke Musgrave as well. He said he's looking forward to seeing, the spotlight back on Musgrave. Those guys in the locker room, they believe in what Luke Musgrave can bring to this offense, even though it's something different than what Tucker Kraft can bring. But to the original point, it's not just on Musgrave. I mean, Watson now has been back for a couple of games. We're going to see if Dontavian Wicks can get back in the mix. Romeo Doubs has been his steady self.
Yep.
Matthew Golden, hopefully this shoulder thing that knocked him out of the Carolina game is not going to keep him out, because you got to believe some more opportunities and targets are going Golden's way if Kraft is not in the lineup. So it's a collective effort kind of thing that's going to be needed. I think there are some things about the Packers offense that are going to look different without Tucker Kraft on the field. But this team has plenty of options. They can weather this storm. I believe that, and we'll see what the first steps toward that are Monday night.
Joe on Facebook, Joe Roach, any timetable for Jayden Reed? I'll tell you what, Michael, I was really pleasantly surprised to see Jayden back out, not practicing, but doing some stuff with the trainers. Mm-hmm. We've seen him in the locker room now walking around, because it's not just the collarbone, it was also the foot that he was dealing with. I don't think it's imminent. He did not return to practice on Thursday, so the 21-day window has yet to reopen for him.
Right.
But the fact that you and I are discussing this on November 7th or whatever it is, I feel like that, not to get into this whole like ahead of schedule thing, because what is ahead of schedule, but for what that looked like 2 months ago when he went down against Washington, the fact that we're even having this conversation right now in week 11, I think I take as a very big positive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, here we are in the first half of November, and we're talking about, hey, maybe Jayden Reed will be back. I mean, my whole feeling when he first went down and it's a collarbone, you kind of know what the timeline is on that. Sort of right away, I was like, okay, like we'll start talking about Jayden Reed around Thanksgiving, and then we'll see what happens from there. Now, the fact that we're kind of already talking about him a little bit, okay, well maybe, Thanksgiving or shortly after Thanksgiving is when he gets back into the mix. I mean, we'll see, because we also don't really know, which is going to take him longer to recover, the collarbone or the foot, having had surgery on both. We don't know that. We don't know the specifics of the whole medical situation there. But it sounds like Jayden Reed is going to be back at some point this season, and hopefully the Packers can be in a good position, and then getting him back, will maybe help to make that final push for the playoffs in December and January.
Well, and I think the other thing about Jayden, and I've said numerous times now, when he went down with that injury, you kind of subtly forget, just based on the way the Packers structure their offense, that he was their leading receiver in his first 2 NFL seasons, both of them.
Yeah.
He was their leading receiver. And one of those years, I think he led them across the board in receptions, receiving yards, and definitely touchdowns. So to lose a guy like that right off the bat, and then also have to navigate those next 5-6 weeks without Christian Watson, a lot did fall on Tucker Kraft. A lot did fall on the rest of those receivers. Obviously, Romeo Doubs, I think, is having a sensational season so far. But you kind of forget that for as much as we make out of Kraft being out right now, the possibility of having Reed back for a stretch run, I think you can't really undersell that. That is a very big thing for this offense when he's back out on the field.
I think so too.
This question is from, okay, let's start with this one on X. Jerry on X, will it be cold on Monday night? Jerry, I'm going to find you an answer. Monday night, Monday period, high of 38, low of 23. That's pretty cold for November.
Yeah.
A high of 38 is Sunday's high of 35. Whew, did you guys turn on the heating yet?
Yeah.
Is the heat on?
The heat's on in the house.
I
might get the fireplace going on Sunday with as cold as that's going to be.
Nice. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, so anyway, 38, 23, but no snow, no rain. So you know how it is in Wisconsin. If it's 40 out, but there's no participation, if there's no precipitation.
Easy for you to say.
Easy for me to say. What's 40 degrees? I was walking around a couple days ago. I had a sweatshirt on. It was like 44 out. I'm like, I'm kind of warm. Like it was like, yeah. Like if the sun is out, 44 degrees feels different when the sun is out as when it's not out.
Well, yeah, and that's where I do think it's going to be pretty chilly Monday because check this, the sun won't be out for a 7:15
Can't make me
PM.
laugh right now, Michael.
For a 7:15 p.m. kickoff. So it's going to be dark, and I think that high of 38 or whatever you said is not going to be anywhere near that on Monday night when the sun goes down.
We'll be in the press box.
Yeah,
no omelets for this one, though. Okay, David on YouTube. Why haven't we seen Watson and Golden go deep on the same play? I actually think you have, but I don't know if either was targeted on that play. The first snap in Pittsburgh that Watson was out there for, they both definitely were on the field together. They were in the first half on Sunday before Golden left with the shoulder. Yeah, I think you probably have. It's just a matter of whether or not the ball's been targeted to them.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think on the 52-yarder if Golden was on the field or not, the one that Watson caught. He wasn't in a deep developing route, though. The point I want to spring this back to, though, is because it came up again in the press conference with Matt this week, the idea of feeding, for a lack of a better term, Matthew Golden and how much he needs to be targeted, how much you should target him. I think you and I have been very upfront since the very beginning with this thing. This kid is going to be special. I've said it from the way he catches the ball naturally, the way he gains separation. I don't know when the arrival's going to be. I never like putting those timelines on people.
Yeah.
But all the traits you want to see in a guy that was, the first round pick, taken where he was taken, you see it. It's just a matter of how the Packers are going to scheme it up and where Jordan Love is going with the football. But it will be curious to see now, especially with these injuries that they've been dealing with, and if his shoulder is fine, what potentially is in the cards for Golden in the second half.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not so much looking for Matthew Golden to be running the deep routes necessarily. I mean, the fact that we were just talking about Jaden Reed and you don't have him right now and you don't have Tucker Kraft right now, what are those two guys really, really good at? Yards after the catch. Maybe Matthew Golden's role here stepping in and his increased opportunities will be to be that yards after catch guy, right? Now he's had some opportunities to do that, and he's broken some short passes into explosive gains. He's also had some where he's done a little bit too much of the horizontal running or even backwards running, trying to get away from guys, and that doesn't work out. That's all part of the learning process for a young player at this level. But I see him as a guy who can potentially get some of those yards after catch that Tucker Kraft would get or that Jaden Reed would get, and I'm curious to see if those opportunities develop for him.
He's Mike Spofford. I'm Wes Hodkowitz. We have Nick behind the camera here, our wonderful social staff, broadcast staff helping us out. Another edition of Packers Preview brought to you by Microsoft Copilot. We thank you for joining us. We have time for 6 more questions is what I'm going to put it at. We already have them in here.
Okay.
And I want to get to these, so keep that in mind. As Dennis Krause says to me on the Packers pregame radio show, keep that in mind in your response. So we have the time restraints. But no, just because we do have to get to Matt LaFleur here in 25 minutes, and I'm sure our wonderful broadcast staff wants to get ready on that stream. Okay, you ready? Bobby on Facebook. How do y'all think we react this year against the Eagles at home after a tough loss last year? I'm going to start this one by saying this is a story that I kind of wrote on Packers.com this morning, talking to Keyshawn Nixon, a number of guys in the locker room. Not just about the playoff loss. Everybody always thinks about the playoff loss. It's also the way they started last year in Brazil against the Eagles, a game that was very winnable for them in that regard as well. Mm-hmm. I think this is a huge opportunity for them. And I think listening to guys talk in the locker room, there is a chip on the shoulder, but also I think I'm on a little bit of a freedom in that they feel like, okay, well, we finally got these guys at home, at our place, and we'll see what the expectations are. I mean, there's going to be some people that are going to be down on Green Bay based on what happened against the Panthers, and I think there's some, as you and I have discussed numerous times this week, that I don't think there is a transitive property there. I think what happened on Sunday doesn't really have anything to do with what happens on Monday. Yeah. So I feel like we're going to see the Packers' best form in this one. I truly do. I think this is, now, we have to see how good Philadelphia is. They're 6-2 for a reason.
Yep.
But I don't think the Packers are looking at this as they're anybody's underdog.
No, I don't think they look at it that way at all either. We talked about it earlier this week on Packers Unscripted. I think we both expect the Packers to put out a pretty good performance on Monday night. What you don't know, because the opponent is the Philadelphia Eagles, is will a really good performance be good enough to win? Because the Eagles can be that good and they can be that difficult to beat. But if anything, I would say the way the Packers performed last Sunday is going to be an impetus for a better performance. It's when you have those really down games that guys just naturally, refocus. And, I don't like to use the phrase wake-up call necessarily because this is a long season. There are 17 games. They're not all going to go right. But I think the Packers are going to play not just better than they did against Carolina, because that'd be a pretty low bar. I think the Packers are going to put out a pretty good performance on Monday night. What we don't know is if it's going to be good enough to win, because the Philadelphia Eagles are the champs for a reason. YouTube Baker Honeydew _Muppet Labs. Yeah, I said that. That is the username for this wonderful person. Hello, Mike and Wes. You guys are amazing in bringing us the Packers' insight, and your analysis of the team and around the league is unmatched. Keep it up. Keep up the fantastic work. Go, Pack, go. Thank you, Baker Honeydew _Muppet Labs. Appreciate you tuning in with us. Ryan on Facebook, hard-hitting question. How are we going to stop the run game on Monday night? It's from Ryan Morgan. Yeah, that's a big one because I thought the first 6 games this season, the Packers were a really, really good run defense. We saw some leaks in the first half against Pittsburgh when the Steelers kind of went with that extra offensive lineman jumbo package thing, and then they lost that because of injury, and the Steelers didn't run the ball in the second half, and the Packers defense certainly looked different. But then the Carolina Panthers ran the ball for all 4 quarters and gave the Packers run defense a lot of trouble. Packers have to get back to that run defense they had in the first 6 games of the season to give themselves an opportunity to contain Barkley, get the Eagles into those 3rd and mediums, 3rd and longs where they're probably going to be throwing the football, and you can get after Jalen Hurts, who's been sacked 25 times this year. Yeah, and Saquon can go off at any given moment, but it has been really interesting looking at his statistics through the first half of the season. Like you mentioned before, he's actually probably at about maybe 55, 60% of his production compared to last year as far as the pace he's on right now. He's nowhere near the 2,000-yard pace. He's more like on an 1,100, 1,200-yard pace right now. So he's definitely way off of that. That being said, he's a guy who can bust a 65-yard touchdown at any moment. And as I wrote in that story this morning, man, digging through Jalen Hurts' stats this year again, I mean, there's a lot of talk about MVP candidates, but my goodness, 15-to-1 touchdown-interception ratio. He leads them with 5 touchdown runs this year. I mean, the guy truly does do it all. He's efficient. YouTube, Dr. Outdoors 18. Mike, would you shave your head bald if it guarantees the Packers win out the season and won the Super Bowl this year? I would love to say that I would do that, but I'm afraid it wouldn't come back. I think I'm holding on to it. It's one of those things where you shave it, it's like, okay, so what's returning after I shave it? You got that mane up there. I think that's not even that big of a bet for you. Yeah. You take it all off, it'll be back in 3 weeks. Well, I don't know about 3 weeks, but it might be a little longer than that. But yeah, I'm good with my hair the way it is, though. All right, that's fine. That's fine. Can I answer 2 more? I'm going to spin 2 together. Joseph has said, I think missing LVN is hurting our run defense. I do also want to mention this question. Where is it? I can't find it now. Oh, this one was from Dan on Facebook, Dan Myers. Will Lucas Van Ness be back anytime soon? Do you guys think he'll ever be a top-flight pass rusher? Okay, so I thought he was off to a really strong start. Micah Parsons has been incredibly complimentary to him so far this season. The foot injury, if he doesn't play on Sunday or on Monday, that'll be 4 weeks now. It'll have been a month so that he's missed since, I believe, did he get that sack against the Bengals? I'm trying to remember. I think that was his last play since he got hurt. So I think you're right. They need him back because it's not just about what he provides on the edge. It is about what he provides inside, too. He's a guy that you can play, and they've started to play more as a 3-tech in the passing downs in the nickel. We talk about it forever for the last 2 years, 2+ years. I mean, there are not many human beings that are built like Lucas Van Ness. Mm-hmm. And once, you see him reach his potential, I look at that, the way they have Rashawn Gary playing, the way they have Micah Parsons playing, it's one more weapon for this defense. Yeah, I mean, with what we've seen, I think, on the Packers' defensive front is unfortunately just the not having as much depth as you would like to have to be able to rotate and keep guys fresh and all that because, Devontae Wyatt was out for a bit. We've seen Colby Wooden go out. Lucas Van Ness has been out for a while. When the Packers have all their guys and, they count on, they believe in all these guys, so they rotate them through. And then you get into the second half, late third quarter, into the fourth quarter, and guys are still fresh because they haven't had to play 55 or 60 snaps. Now, I mean, the Micah Parsons and the Rashawn Garys of the world, you're not necessarily going to take them off the field as much. But the more you can rotate guys up front, the better your defense is going to be down the stretch in the fourth quarter. And I think in some ways the Packers have been missing that just from a depth standpoint.
I did not get to cover the 2009, 2010 defenses like you did. But when I think about pass rush, the most consistent pass rush that the Packers had in my time on the beat was 2014. And to some extent, it was also 2019 with Zadarius Smith moving inside as well.
Yeah.
But it's when you had Julius Peppers playing multiple positions. It's when you had Clay Matthews playing multiple positions, Mike Neal playing multiple positions. All those guys, there was so much flexibility in the NASCAR packages, what Dom Capers was dialing up. I feel like there's ideas and principles of that you can get to once Lucas Van Ness is back on the field.
Yeah, I agree.
We got to go. We're running out of time, but I do want to say this is a great one, too. It's a good question. I think it's worth at least the follow-up quickly here. Samuel Myers on Facebook. Who will be the kicker this week? Matt LaFleur told the reporters on Thursday it's an open competition right now. It's a competitive week. They're going to see how both Brandon McManus handles. You know, he was a full participant with the right quad. You have Lucas Haversek still on this roster. They're going to take it through Monday, and we'll see to the best man may win.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's going to be another game time decision, just as it's been the last couple weeks with regard to McManus's health too.
Okay, Mr. Bob, bring back backwards hat spot. Mike, you started. It's a movement.
I think I only did it once.
We need to bring it back though, I guess.
I guess so. Wow.
And then I'll close it on this too, and you can spin this however direction you want. This is your girl Doris Pringle. This question is for Mike Spofford. Mr. Spofford, what is your analysis on how the Packers will corral Saquon Barkley? And if it may be allowed for a follow-up, do you get your cheesesteak with whiz or with wit or no cheese?
Oh, I'm a whiz-wit guy when it comes to my cheesesteaks. But
I saved that for my dog. My dog can have the cheese whiz.
With regard to Barkley, it's all about getting as many hats to the ball as possible.
No pun intended.
Right? Because
backwards hats.
Yeah, it's all about getting as many hats to the ball as possible with Barkley because he very often makes the first guy miss.
Yep.
And if you don't have somebody there following it up, then that's when the explosive runs come. So containing a guy like that requires everybody to be pursuing the ball, staying in your lanes. Don't over pursue and give him those cutback lanes. All that kind of stuff. It takes a lot of discipline, and it takes really good tackling to keep Saquon Barkley in check.
Facebook, you guys, thank you so much. There were so many questions. I can't get them all to them this week. I'm going to close here. But Joe, who asked the question earlier, said, Spoff and Wes, I just want to say thanks for all your hard work. I've spied other NFL team sites, and you guys are the champions. The content, the opinions, and features presented are fantastic. Go Pack Go. Thank you, Joe. We do it for you. Be sure to stay tuned to Packers.com, the Packers mobile app. Tons of stories up there already. Mike wrote a story, as we kind of talked about earlier, about what the process is going to be like for the Green Bay Packers, trying to make up for the huge void now without Tucker Kraft available for the remainder of this season. I have a story up, I believe, now on Packers.com with a lot of guys commenting on that matchup last year against the Eagles, what that is like facing them again, and obviously the vaunted tush push and the narratives that will be driven with that this week as well. But until next time, for Mike Spofford, I'm Wes Hockwitz. Everybody behind the scenes, we thank you for joining us. Enjoy the game, everybody.